Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Jason Lynch, and I ran for UVU. Coach Will asked me to put some thoughts together about my collegiate running experience and how some of those, some items that I feel like helped me improve, and what some of those items were. So I'll share two things that I feel like really helped me mentally and physically, and how they helped me in my training and my races. Um, and so those two things that I feel like really helped me were one, that I expected the worst from my opponents, and then two, I tried to focus and have more of a focus on teamwork. And so I also do apologize in advance if I'm repetitive on trying to illustrate how these helped me and how they were developed in my collegiate running career. So to start, I'd like to talk a little bit about my high school experience, and because of the beginning and how that translates to the beginning of my college experience. So in high school, I was able to place second at state for cross country, and the person who beat me also signed with UVU, so I knew they were going to UVU. I didn't really know any of the current runners that were there or any of the other signees. I mean, I had a list of names and some pictures and everything, but I had never really talked to very many of them or met any of them, or I didn't know who they were, what they were like. Um, and so going in, but I did know the person who beat me at state. I'd probably talked to them the most, and I knew that they were going go to UVU as well. And so overall, I do feel like that helped me a lot in my, not only my career, but also just my preparation for that first season. Because as the summer hit, I was still living at home. I was doing most of my training with my high school, and adding on to that. But I always had in the back of mind this guy who beat me at state, because I knew that he was good, and to me, I couldn't imagine him not working hard either. And I know he's moving out of the role of a former rival and competitor to more of a teammate now, but I still couldn't imagine him not doing this work, let alone anyone else on the team or anyone else on the college level. And so for me to feel like I could even compete in that kind of scene, I thought I would have to be doing a lot of work and a lot of core, a lot of lifting, a lot of hitting all my miles, and making sure I was doing everything I should, making sure I was getting the sleep I needed, doing all of the big things and the little things. Because, I couldn't imagine somebody at that level not doing those items. And so I made sure to do them. And I feel like that helped me physically, is that I expected everybody else to be doing that. And so to me, it seemed like a necessity that I wouldn't be able to get by not doing that. I wouldn't be able to ever miss a core workout or anything, because if I did, I would be a step behind. And so I feel like that helped me physically, because I was putting in that extra work. I did a lot of core. Coach Will sounded his summer packets, and it included a lot more miles than I was doing in high school. It included core, and it was more core than I was used to doing, and I feel like that step up increasing helped me a lot. And a lot of the motivation behind my increase was because I thought my competitors were doing it. So I was expecting almost the worst possible, for me at least, for outcome from them, is that they were going to be at their top of the game. I need to be at the top of my game. And because on a broader scale, going into my freshman year of college, I felt intimidated. I felt like this was a whole new level of running that was much more competitive than high school. And though it is that, I think the step was a lot wasn't quite as gradual as I anticipated, but to me that helped me, because I put in the extra work expecting it to be a much bigger step, expecting these people to be able to run me into the ground really easily, going into my freshman year. And because I didn't feel capable, I put in the extra work. And once the season started, it was a lot of fun, because I put in that extra work and I was able to reap a little bit from it. So as I as throughout the other years that I ran, I continued to increase my mileage and try to increase my workload of whether that be core, cross training, or lifting or whatever it was. And as I increased, I do feel like that helped me, and part of me increased because as I got to know opponents better or their training, I was able to kind of have that same mindset of I can't imagine them not doing these items. I need to do them as well. And so every summer, every season, when Coach would send out workouts or the the summer mileage packets and everything with the core, I made sure I did everything in there because I felt like I needed to be at the top of my game. And whenever I did that, that's when I felt like I had the biggest leaps and bounds of my training and my races. So physically I feel like expecting the worst and not underestimating my opponents helped me find more motivation to work harder, but also made me put in that extra work. But I do also feel like it helped me mentally. Mentally, in one sense, it made it so I was constantly evaluating my actions and saying, hey, is this helping or hurting my running? And I'd use the best of my judgment to be like, hey, this is helping it, this is hurting it. There were plenty of times where I did things that hurt it. For example, I would stay up way too late doing homework, but academics was also a priority for me. So sometimes I'd be like, I'm hurting my running right now, but it needs to be done for academics or anything. Or it would encourage me to try to not ever procrastinate on my homework or anything because I wanted to get to sleep and recovery. But it also helped me having that mindset of I need to be at the top of my game, and because I know my opponents are getting rest, they're getting their full night's sleep. If there was a time that I was watching a movie, I would have that mindset and prioritize, hey, I want my running to be good. I'm going to watch this movie another time when it's not going into the night where I need to be getting rest. And so having that mentality, I feel like really helped me prioritize my running by evaluating my actions of if this is hurting me or helping my running. And if it was hurting my running, I would avoid it, and then try to do as many of the things that were helping my running as I could. And a lot of that includes never missing a day, never missing a workout, and doing everything I could to work hard. But one other thing that really I came to learn was to not underestimate my opponents, not just in the preparation and the training, but also definitely in the racing. Because before I was expecting them to be doing all their miles, expecting them to be doing all their workouts and other core sessions and all their lifting, but also I needed to have that same attitude when I stepped up to the line against them. One example that really comes to mind that still eats at me a little bit to this day was there was this indoor 5K, and I'd seen all the people, all the registered athletes there and all their seed times, and mine was the fastest seed time by a good amount. And the second fastest was another UVU runner, so I was familiar with their ability, and I don't think at that point I ever really lost them at all, so I wasn't super worried. And then they were even further ahead than the third fastest seed time. And so going into that race, that was probably the most confident I've ever been in any race. And it was also one where I definitely underestimated my opponents. I thought I can run this any way I want. I can go out hard from the gun, and even if I die a little bit, I should be fine. I can sit and kick on these guys. I can. To me, the ideal situation would have been somebody taking it out hard, not me, but I would have been able to kind of draft a little bit for the first mile and then try to push the pace the last two. And somebody else from UVU wanted that same strategy where they wanted to lead and take out the first mile hard. And so to me, I'm thinking this is, I was very, for that race, I was very arrogant and also thinking, hey, this is great, this is my ideal setup. And as we went off, I believe that because I underestimated my opponents, I didn't do the mental preparation that I needed to do. to be able to race well, and I wasn't ready for when it started to hurt and there were still people around me, and I wasn't when I was pushing the pace and people were hanging on to it. It hurt me mentally, and I wasn't ready for it. Unfortunately for me, it didn't turn out super great, and I got beat by a lot of people when I was expecting to be able to win it any way I wanted to. But I did at least learn, I feel like, the valuable lesson of not underestimating my opponents. And that even if I feel like I have a faster seat time or anything, I still need to be sharp and be on my A game no matter who I'm against or where it's at. And so even for race scenarios, once I learned to expect the worst from them, expect them to be on their A game, and to not underestimate them, I was able to race a lot better. Then the other thing that I wanted to talk about was once I also was able to focus more on teamwork and working together with the other runners at UVU, that I feel like helped me a lot, both physically and mentally. Physically, where I was able to train better, to me it was much easier to do workouts with the team. For most of my seasons, I think all of them but one cross-country season, I was able to always schedule my class times around practice. There was one that I had a conflicting class with practice, and that one was very hard for me to, I still did the workouts and everything, but it was much harder, and I don't feel like my training or racing was as good because I couldn't make it to practice. But when I was able to, seasons after and before, when I was able to make it to practice, I feel like the workouts were easier. I was able to hit faster times with less effort, because I feel like there was a synergy in the team atmosphere. And also, to me, it was also fun running with everybody and kind of building a bond as we struggled through workouts together. As I learned as well, there were some people that got pretty competitive in practice, and it almost seemed like they were racing every whether it be every interval or every workout. I feel like as I kind of shifted away towards, and as I tried to avoid that, if someone else was getting competitive, to not get competitive with them, but more work with them, in a practice or in a workout. I feel like that helped a lot as well, to not try to destroy each other, but to try to lift each other up and run well with each other. I feel like that helped with workouts and then future races. And so yeah, physically, I feel like working together as a team definitely helped in working out and then races as we went on. But I also feel like it helped out a lot mentally, in that when we were fighting these trying to hit these paces together, and as we fought and struggled together, I feel like developed a greater bond as friends, and pretty much they became my family. I mean, living there before, I was living with a lot of people on the team at some of the apartments, and so these were my best friends. These were my family, and in a race, I was able, I feel like, to dig deeper because I was running not just for myself, but also for my friends and family, and I was running for my team. And I know running has a very individual aspect to it, but there at the same time there is very much a team aspect, especially in the collegiate scene, and knowing that my team had a confidence in me, and I had confidence in them, and that they could do well. Having that mindset, I feel like, helped me to find a new gear or a new threshold to be able to push through during race time or during workouts as well. Being able to work together, but having that focus really helped, and having that kind of that mindset of, hey, I need to do this for my team, not just for myself, but they're depending on me. Sometimes having the mindset, if I don't pass this guy, we're not going to win. Kind of, it's dependent on me to pull my weight for the team. That I feel like did help me a lot overall, and yeah, because to this day, they're still some of the greatest friends that I have, and I appreciate being able to be on the team with them. So yeah, overall, I feel like expecting the worst from my opponents or like not underestimating them helped me prepare more and become physically stronger, but also helped me mentally because I knew I needed to be at the top of my game, whether that be physically and mentally, to not underestimate my opponents. And then working together as a team and having that focus of being a team and not trying to work against each other or work in a silo, but being able to work together. I feel helped me physically, whether that be in practice and in races as we work together, but also mentally as I was able to dig deeper and have a greater drive and a greater motivation. Yeah, so I hope those items, they feel like they really helped me develop more and to improve. And I'm excited for you guys and for your races, and I hope that's able to help you a little bit. And I hope you guys keep up the good work and go Wolverines.